Hi guys, it's Mark. So a lot of you really enjoyed the last video I made where I invested $100 in lots of different ways. And today it's finally time to share the results and break down how much money I made. There's also a bit of a twist because I've invited a guy called Tom round who's never invested in his life. He doesn't have a job right now and he's been finding things really a little bit tough. While he thinks he's coming around for a simple how to invest for beginners tutorial, I've got a surprise planned for him. I'm actually going to give him some money to jumpstart his investing journey, as I would really have appreciated that at his age. If you like this idea and you want me to do it with more people, then make sure to smash that like button to let me know. I'm really excited for this one. I can't wait to see his face. He'll be arriving any minute now. So we're here with Tom. How are you?
I'm not too bad, yeah. A very difficult time at the minute. You know, I've been looking for a new career path and a new job.
I know you've spoken a little bit about being interested in investing.
Yeah, I am very interested, but I don't know that much about it actually. I mean, I've been watching a lot of your videos, my friends have been watching a lot of your videos and they've actually started investing, so I'd like to give it a try.
Well, that's good. Well, that's good to know because that's what we're trying to push out, to get young people investing early. So Tom, we've made a video recently where I invested $100 into lots of different investments, and during this video we're going to see how those investments went. Should we dive straight in?
Definitely.
Let's do it. So this is the first investment. This is a high interest savings account and we invested $100, and at the moment that's had a return of 0.04%. And the reason it's lower than when we started is because they lowered the interest rate. So our profit is 4 cents.
4 cents? That doesn't seem like a lot. Why would I invest in that?
So this investment isn't about the interest you're going to gain, because nowadays it's really hard to find a really high interest savings account. The real reason one of these is so valuable is because you can use it as a backup fund, and you should have in there around about 4 to 5 months of your living expenses.
Why would I need that?
Well, the reason is because if you have an emergency in your life, I mean, you might have a flat tire on the car or the engine in the car might blow up, whatever the reason, you've got the cash to hand to be able to sort that problem out immediately without having to go and borrow the money, which is going to cost you a high amount of interest.
So basically, it's not about the money you make, it's about the money you save.
You've got it. Something a lot of people don't know, but 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So by doing this, you're already ahead of a lot of people.
Well, that's where I want to be.
The second investment we made was into gold.
Oh, I love a bit of gold.
Well, we all like a bit of gold, and we invested $100 into this. The return on this was minus 0.98%, which means we lost 98 cents.
So why would I invest in something that loses money?
Because it protects you against inflation.
What's inflation?
Well, think of it this way. This dollar has actually lost 95% of its value since 1913. And that's why your grandma and your grandparents always say they could buy so much more with their money when they were younger.
Well, that makes sense, but how does that link to gold?
Well, that's actually an easy one, because as your dollar loses value, gold generally goes up in value. So by investing your dollar in gold, you're keeping it a lot safer.
Well, how come you lost money?
Well, because the gold market always fluctuates. So gold basically moves in the opposite way to inflation. As inflation goes up, the price of gold goes up.
I never really thought about it like that. Do you just buy blocks of gold?
Well, you can do that, but I prefer to invest into ETFs and ETCs, which means you can buy and sell gold much easier.
So what's an ETF?
An ETF is an exchange traded fund, which means they hold the gold for you. You don't have to physically hold it and put it in a safe or anything like that. They store it all over the world, and there are billions stored up, and you can actually buy and trade it on the stock market.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know you could do that.
So just to finish this section off, gold is a very rare thing. You can't make any more of it. Well, you can, but it's too expensive to make it, so you wouldn't. So it won't lose value the same way that money will. Unless, of course, Elon Musk finds a great big meteor that's full of gold, of course, and he might do that. Investment number 3 was an S&P 500 index fund, and we invested again $100. Our return was 1.84%, which gave us a profit of $1.84.
Well, that's a good profit, but what's an index fund?
Owning a stock is like owning one cow, whereas owning an index fund is like having the whole herd. So imagine if you own just that one cow and it dies, you're out of milk. But if you own a small piece of all the herd, then if one dies, it really doesn't affect you. For example, what we chose is the S&P 500, which is the 500 top companies in the USA, such as Amazon, Apple, and now even Tesla.
So I can invest in all these companies in one go?
Yeah, you certainly can, and the fees are really low because it's passively managed. They don't have experts managing all the different stocks, and pretty low risk because it's diversified over all these different companies.
So I'm not going to lie, Mark, but you're only making a profit of $1. Why should I care?
Well, the thing here is that $1.84 is only over a month and a half. And if you actually invested $100 at 8% growth per year over 45 years, you would have over $500,000 in your account.
That sounds amazing.
And do you know what? That $100 a month can just be by having a few less coffees from Starbucks or doing a side hustle. It's easily found and invested into an index fund every month. Investment number 4 is in a REIT, and that stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. And we've invested again $100. Our value has actually dropped by 0.4%, which is a bit of a pain, but we did get a dividend, which is really cool, of 57 cents, which means we are actually in profit by 11 cents.
So what's a REIT?
So imagine you've gone round and you've borrowed lots of money from all your friends and you've got enough now to go and buy a property and you rent it out. And of course, because you're a nice guy, you split all that rent with your friends.
So that dividend, is that a share of the rent?
Yeah, that's spot on. And it's from things like offices, hotels, things like that are owned by commercial companies. And because they have to sign such long leases, it's a really secure income.
So this is how I can get into real estate without buying a property?
Yes, think of it a bit like, I own the front door, you might own a window, your other mates might own half a dozen bricks. So you all own a little bit of it and then get paid the rent in return.
I've always wanted to go into property, so this could be my way in.
Investment number 5 is sort of my bread and butter. It's business, buying and selling. And I actually did some research and found a model engine that was underpriced, which I then sold on eBay. And also the guy gave me a model aeroplane as well, which I sold. So we made a profit of 67.87.
Why is the risk level 4 out of 10?
Well, this relies on your knowledge of the things that you're buying and selling. Because if you can find the right things, you can make money from them.
I'm really into Star Wars.
Well, Star Wars toys are worth quite a lot of money, and if they're in their packets, you could earn a fortune from them.
All right, you piqued my interest. Where would I look for these things?
Well, Facebook Marketplace is great, and also eBay. And I often look for mistyped titles, and that way you can get yourself a bargain. And sometimes people don't photograph the things very well, so they're going to go for a lower price.
I better get myself a bargain then.
And the great thing with this is you can repeat the process over and over again. One guy went from a paperclip to an entire house. Investment number 6 is Samsung individual stock. And we chose this stock by having a dartboard on the wall. And we had 20 randomly selected companies around it, and we landed on Samsung.
So this was a completely random investment?
Yeah, and as you can see from $100, we've actually made a return of 19.4%, which is actually $19.43.
Wow, so that's with a risk level of 6.5?
Yep, so the higher the risk, the higher the reward.
Would you say luck was involved in your dart throw?
It was lucky I hit the board, not only blindfolded, I didn't have my glasses on either, so it's a absolute wonder. Of course, luck and timing is always a critical part of stock investing. Of course, you can do it without throwing a dart at the board because you can do fundamental analysis.
What's fundamental analysis?
So that's when you look at the financial statements and balance sheets and also the leader of the company. And this can all be found on Yahoo Finance if you're interested.
So what's the best way to get started?
Well, if you deposit $100 on Webull, they'll give you 4 free stocks at the moment. I'll leave the link below. And for you, Tom, I'm going to leave a link for Trading 212. If you want to pick up a free stock, that's fine if you're in the UK or Europe.
Free stock for nothing? Count me in.
Investment 7 is crypto, and we decided to invest in Bitcoin. We invested $100 as before, and we got a return of plus 98%. So in a month, we've made nearly 100% of our money back.
That's amazing. So are these actual coins?
No, they're not actual coins, but they're digital coins. The great thing with Bitcoin is it's decentralized, so it's not actually controlled by any government. And this puts some people at ease because the banks can't control their money.
So can I spend this Bitcoin?
Yes, and more businesses are actually accepting Bitcoin now, and the more that do, the more the value goes up. And remember, this dollar, it's just losing its value because they're just printing more and more. And that won't happen with Bitcoin because there's a limited supply.
But I heard about Bitcoin, they're making them all the time.
Well, actually, they're just mining them, and they're finding all the little bits that are out there. And once they're all found and they're all mined, that's it, there's no more. And that'll probably happen in the 22nd century.
So that's quite a long time to wait. Should be fine.
But one of the problems with Bitcoin, of course, is it's very volatile, so its value is going up and down all the time. On the 17th of December 2017, one Bitcoin was worth over $20,000. But days later, on the 24th, it was worth under 14,000.
So it's a win or lose situation.
Yeah, I'd say so. For anyone that wants to get started, I'll leave a link down below where you can get $10 of free Bitcoin. So investment number 8 was actually, to be fair, a gamble. It was Lotto scratch cards. We invested $100 and our return was minus 50%, which meant we lost $50.
So why would I want to invest in Lotto scratch cards?
You wouldn't. That's the point. So of course it is the highest risk. We've given it a 10, but you could win big, and that's what makes it exciting, and that's why people do it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll take a risk like that.
Well, you say that, but 50% of Americans do this every year, and that's a sad thing. So the grand total is $108 profit, which is 11% growth over a month and a half. What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty amazing considering one of them was a lucky dart shot.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, really. And 10% is considered average for a year's growth, so I think we did pretty well.
Me too.
So I have a challenge for you. I invested $100 in 8 different areas, which is $800. I'm going to give you $800 right now to invest in your 3 top choices of what we've invested in to see if you can beat what we've done.
Seriously?
You got $800. What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to start investing.
You can split the money however you want, but at the end of the month, you get to keep the entire amount, 100% of the investments.
Wow, that's amazing. I've always wanted to invest, so this is a great opportunity for me. Thank you.
And that's what we want everyone to do. We want everyone to be out there investing and getting ahead in life. So what are you going to invest in?
I would like to take a quick look at all the investments we just talked about, if you're all right with
That's
that.
absolutely perfect. I'd say that's the best thing to do. So here they all are here.
Perfect.
So while he's picking his investments, why don't you put your top 3 down in the comments below? I read all of them and I'd love to see what your choices are.
That's a no from me because it's low profit.
Okay.
Gold, that's a loss, so that's a no from me.
Okay.
S&P 500 index fund, well, it seems like it gets a good percentage and it's probably the safest option.
You're going to go with that?
Definitely.
Okay, how much do you want to invest in that?
I think I'll put 200.
So we're going to go straight on to Trading 212. We're going to go to one of the links in my video and we can get you a free share as well. How good's that? So now we're going to go on to the S&P 500. Do you want to type that in?
S&P? Ah, it's the first one, yeah?
Okay, so it's a Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. So we're going to put into that
$200. So now we're going to buy. There we go.
So now you own a share in the 500 of the top US companies, just like that.
That's amazing.
So you go off to your mates and tell them you own Amazon, Facebook, you name it. You
Wow.
own it.
Then we've got investment 4, which is the REIT. Now, looking at this, it's definitely a no from me because it's low profit.
Okay.
Business, buying and selling. It's got the biggest profit, and if it was a different time, I probably would be doing this one, or it'd be my 4th option if I got
Well,
one.
to be fair, I was quite lucky with that, and I do know the subject very well, so I did get a particularly high return.
The individual stock.
On this, you don't have to buy Samsung stock. You can buy any stock on the entire stock market.
Oh, well, that's good. So I might even find something that gives me a higher percentage.
You may well do.
Definitely going to go for that one. I think I might put, actually, 400 in there.
You might be on track to beat me with that one. So we've got all these stocks available to you, Tom. So which ones have you got a feeling towards?
I definitely like the look of Tesla and Google.
So we're going to go on to Tesla. So we click on buy. So how much do you want to invest in Tesla?
I'm going to split it in half, so I'm going to put 200 in there.
Do you want to do the honours?
Boom.
You now own part of Tesla. How about
Nice.
that?
That's amazing.
And you said Google.
Google, yes.
Okay. So do you want to hit the button?
Yeah, that's another 200 into Google.
Look at that. You own part of Google.
Woo!
It's easy as that.
The next one is Bitcoin, crypto. I like the look of this one. This one probably has the highest profit, but it also has the highest risk level.
Yeah, but it's exciting, isn't it?
It is very exciting. So I think I will take my chance in it.
Okay, Tommy, so whip out your phone and we can go on to Coinbase and we can take advantage of that $10 worth of free Bitcoin. So how does it feel spending all this money on Bitcoin?
It's great, and I'm hoping I'm going to make a bigger profit. Buy now.
Let's go for it.
It's
You've
bought,
done it.
it's submitted. Done it. Woo!
High five.
High five.
I'm going to leave the next video down there. Don't click on it just yet. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want to grow your wealth. Ring that old notification bell and don't forget to smash that like button. Okay, I'll see you on the other side.